I went to a meeting of the partners that were actually doing the work, and I was just amazed at what happens when you put aside your agency hats, your mandates, your pride, your agency pride, and you just sit around together and work together on behalf of a family. That blew me away to see that. We were all learning together on how to be respectful of the families we're working with. That was clear. And in doing that, we opened up all sorts of possibilities for the families because we stopped blaming, we stopped doing all the things we tend to do, and started collaborating in finding opportunities and resources for the families. The other thing that I think impressed me about the Relentless Connector table is every idea was welcome and explored. So I don't have a social work background, and I was at a table once where a family was presented, and there had been, there was a father, husband involved, but he was not part of the scene anymore, and so we were only talking about the mother and the children, and I was asking the question, well, what about him? Like, what are we going to do for him? He'll be back in the picture. How can we make sure that all of that is addressed as well? And that hadn't occurred to anybody else, but my contribution was welcomed and explored, and that was a wonderful feeling because I knew that would be how everybody else would be treated too with their ideas.
So we see this significantly, and it's immediate, and the individual or the child is now connected to 5 serving organizations. So they absolutely have now an array of people that are supporting them. Research shows very clearly that the more adult supports children have in their lives that are positive, the greater their outcomes. So we know that just by surrounding these families and children with our organizations, with our staff, with our programs, that we are creating better potential outcomes for these families. And so now what we see is individuals moving from a Norwood to a Mennonite program, hearing about something over at Bantero, and being very well connected to all the organizations, and from that all the people within them. Because none of us can fulfill any one individual's needs, but collectively we can absolutely have a much better opportunity.